All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little Wednesday intel from down in 49er land. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And join us on December 7th in Corte Madera. We'll have a Krug Show meet and greet at the Corte Madera Pig and a Pickle. I'll be there all day watching football during the bye week. Stop by, get some brisket, have a beer, have a root beer, stop by and say hello. The Krug Show meet and greet, December 7th at Pig and a Pickle. All right, let's talk a little bit about what happened today on this Wednesday in Santa Clara. Interesting day. Had a chance to talk to Kyle Shanahan. We'll play some of those cuts in just a second. And then we went out to practice. And right as we walked out to practice, the rain came down. It was not a heavy rain, kind of a light drizzle, but nonetheless, it rained in the middle of practice. And it was an eventful day. Why? Because Brock Purdy took first team reps, and he was first in the individual drills. And it's really clear that Brock Purdy's going to start against the Arizona Cardinals unless there's some kind of a setback between now and Sunday. He's definitely playing Sunday against Arizona. He definitely took the first team reps. And then that's the good news, I guess. The bad news is I don't think he looked all that great. He still, to me, looked kind of compromised. He's running gingerly. His passes lack the zip that I saw off of his hand in July. He just looks sore. He was doing all kinds of odd, like, stretches between the different reps he was taking, and just looked like he was trying to get comfortable, trying to get loose. But I think all indications are he's going to go on Sunday. Also, indications are that Ricky Pearsall is definitely playing Sunday as well. He led the wide receiver line in the individual position drills. And I think it's pretty clear that Ricky, who, hasn't practiced in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that he's going to play as well. Now, the 49ers under Mac Jones had very, very little downfield passing game at all. And that is something that I'm sure they would like to change. They would like to be able to throw the ball down the field. The one thing about it, and the big question in this game, is that, Mac Jones gets rid of the ball. The Rams really in both matchups couldn't get to Jones. He was 33 of 39 in this last matchup, but the longest pass play was 22 yards. So there's no vertical element in the Niners passing game, and I think they missed that. I think it's because their receivers are really, really slow, but they're getting one of their fastest guys back in Ricky Pearsall. But I think it's also has to do with the fact that Mac Jones is getting rid of the ball, and the ball's coming out quick. The Niners offensive line gave up only 1 sack, but if you watch the film, it wasn't they were that great. It's that Jones is getting rid of the ball in rhythm very, very quickly. He doesn't sit in the pocket and pat the football. He just doesn't. Now here comes Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy drives the ball down the field deeper and is more apt to hold the ball in the pocket. And it's going to be really interesting to see, can the 49er offensive line block this Arizona defensive line that has Calais Campbell, Walter Nolan, Josh Sweat. I mean, they've got some pretty good defensive linemen on this front line, and Purdy's known to hold the ball, and this 49er line is not great. So can the Niner line protect long enough to let the Ricky Pearsalls of the world, open up down the field? And can Purdy, he's going to try to make plays, and we'll see what Pearsall can give them. But the big question is, can the Niner offensive line hold up against that Arizona defensive line? The other big question is, can the 49er defensive line, which has put together very little pass rush, can they put any pressure at all on Jacoby Brissett? We found out on Wednesday there'll be no Marvin Harrison Jr., there'll be no Zay Jones. So it's Greg Dortch and, Trey McBride. And Michael Wilson. But if you don't put any heat on Jacoby Brissett, who's also been known to kind of hold the ball too long and hang out in the pocket too long and take sacks, he'll pick you apart. You saw what he did to Dallas a couple of weeks ago. He beat Dallas in Dallas, and he threw the ball all night in that game to Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not going to have Harrison Jr. in this game, but if the Niners can't put pass rush on Jacoby Brissett, he's going to carve him up. He's absolutely going to carve them up. A couple other notes. There was no Trent Williams, no Christian McCaffrey today, both given the Veterans Day off. That's typical of Wednesdays for those two guys. Tatum Bethune practiced, but appeared to be extremely limited. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Tatum Bethune's body is beat up. This is the Niners' problem right now. It's offensively, they're still making mistakes. They had a turnover last week, but defensively, they have absolutely no rush. They're really young on the back end. And in the middle, their linebackers are all beat up. D. Winters is hurt. Tatum Bethune is hurt. Fred Warner's done for the year. So Bethune practiced and Winters practiced. Winters, I thought, was moving better than Bethune, but both of them were limited in practice. But Bethune was very limited. He just didn't seem like he was moving well at all. Alfred Collins ran on a side field. He's trying to make his way back. Mac Jones, with Brock Purdy taking first-team reps, took second-team reps in at least the portion of practice that I saw. So there you go. You're fully pretty much updated there on what happened in practice. And we didn't get a full breakdown of practice, but there you got some of it right there. We should also tell you that 49er football all season long is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit. That's right. They're going to give you up to $100. Links in the description, terms and conditions to apply. And thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right. Before practice, we had a little sit down with Kyle Shanahan. And I got a couple questions in for Shanahan. And, the first one I asked him was just about Brock Purdy. I mean, I'm like, we have not been to practice. We're there at the beginning, but we're not there for practice. And so enough guesswork. Kyle, what does Brock look like? How's his accuracy? How's his arm strength? How's his mobility? What does he look like in these practices? And here's what Shanahan had to say when I asked him that question earlier today in Santa Clara.
Kyle, we haven't seen practice, obviously. How has he looked as far as his mobility, accuracy? How's he looked?
I think each week it's gotten better, with last week being the best. I mean, each week has been different. So if he takes a big step forward this week, like he did last week, he should have a good chance to play.
Okay, so there you go. Not a lot of specifics there, but it sounds like he's making progress. In Shanahan's mind, he's making progress. This Cardinals defense is interesting because they do have, Walter Nolan. They didn't have him the first go around. And Walter Nolan a couple weeks ago looked really good. He didn't look as good against Seattle. And then he got hurt at the end of the Seattle game. And so his status for this game is also kind of up in the air. The Cardinals, by the way, the Niners finally met their match, finally met a team that's more injured than them. The Cardinals had 16 guys on their Wednesday injury list. 16 guys. And here's Shanahan talking a little bit about the Cardinals and what they look like on film defensively.
Challenge like this week, Arizona's defense, what are they looking like?
I think they got a real good defense. I think they got a real good team. I mean, I've been in their situation before. I think they tied a record, or one that we had, or my first year here as head coach, when we lost 5 games by a field goal or less in a row. I saw that same thing happen to them. I think they're a team that could be sitting here very easily with the exact same record as us, if not better. They've had some tough ones. And when you look at the film, they look like a team that has a winning record. The way their defense plays, they're very well coached. The guys that they've added this offseason on the D-line helped them a ton. I think offensively, they know how to move the ball. I think Brissett's been playing very well this last month. I see a well-coached team who plays really hard and seems to be in almost every game they're in. I know last week got away from them very early, but besides that, seems like they've had a chance to win every game they played in.
Yeah, that's what I love about Shanahan. It's like if you give him a question that's a football question and where he can really expand, he'll give you quite a bit. He really will. I thought that was a very good answer, a long answer there from Kyle. And good stuff. And let's hear from the Cardinals defensive coordinator, Nick Rallis. He was asked if there's a benefit to facing Kyle Shanahan's offense previously, because this is the second matchup. And Shanahan's known as a guy whose offense is voluminous. they're very multiple. There's a lot of volume here, so it's not an easy preparation. It's not an easy team to prepare for. The 49ers do a lot of different things. Shanahan gets the advantages that he's looking for, and he'll dress it up with a lot of pre-snap eye candy to make it look like something totally different than what it is. He's very creative in that regard. And here's Nick Rallis, the Cardinals defense coordinator, kind of describing the experience of having to prepare to play against Kyle Shanahan.
We hear about Kyle Shanahan and his ability to disguise what he's doing offensively really well. Do you have any sort of benefit or leg up since you've already played him at this point, or no?
No.
So what can you take away from the first matchup with that offense?
I mean, yes and no. Like, first matchup, sixth matchup since I've been here, no matter what, it is hard to prepare for. I actually just left the meeting with the coaches, kind of going through some things that are difficult. And I said, keep watching it. Let me know what you guys figure out here. Like, make sure it's simple, because it's difficult. Like the way it's the run and the pass game. On how he can game plan it, number one, to get them in advantage positions, but then two, to dress it up. I think the advantage of playing them before is I don't even know where we would be looking at that for the first time. It would be harder, but no matter what, it's hard every week. I always joke with the coaches, like I like kind of, staying ahead of schedule. As soon as San Fran week hits, you're behind schedule just because it takes you so long to work through what they do. Credit to them. Like it's really good. It's really good.
That's the youngest coordinator in the NFL, by the way. And this guy was a linebacker coach under Gannon with the Eagles, and then came with Gannon from the Eagles. But youngest coordinator in the NFL, 32 years of age. His brother is a pro wrestler who goes by the name Riddick Moss. But Nick Rallis played linebacker at the University of Minnesota. He's from Minnesota. Then he was the QC at Wake Forest in 2017. That's where it all began. Then he got the defensive QC job out of that job with the Vikings in 18 and 19. Then he was defensive quality control assistant linebacker coach, bottom of the barrel, 2020 with the Vikings. Then he went to the Eagles, worked for Gannon 2021, 2022, and then came with Gannon to be the Cardinals defensive coordinator. 32 years of age. 32. I mean, that is a young coordinator. This guy was born. You want to feel old? This guy was born in July of 1993. That is unbelievable. He's coaching in the NFL, and he's a defensive coordinator. He's 32 years of age. Young guy, and man, he's there. The 49ers, I think, are going to have a hard time blocking this line. But Arizona just gave up so many rush yards last week that maybe the Niners can run it on them. But I'll tell you that front of Baron, we'll see about Baron Browning if he's healthy, but Baron Browning, if he's out of the concussion protocol, Josh Sweat off the edges, and then Walter Nolan, Calais Campbell, and Dalvin Tomlinson, 5-man surface to a 3-4. I mean, that's a tough D. And then Will Johnson, Max Melton, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Dadrion Taylor Demerson, all in the secondary. Now, Melton, Johnson, Taylor Demerson, Mac Wilson, Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson, they're all on the injured list. So who knows? In fact, it's really rare that any coach will call somebody out on a Wednesday for the game on Sunday. But the Cardinals today declared Mac Wilson, their linebacker, their veteran linebacker, their weak side backer, who's really good. They said he's out. So get ready to see Cody Simon, the rookie from Ohio State. And Simon's a good player, but he's a young player, and the young players make mistakes. And Seattle just gashed them last week. Can the Niners do the same? But before you feel good about that, Seattle gashed Houston, totally dominated them, and look what Houston did to the Niners. So, I'm sure Arizona is going to get into this game and say, yes, this is not Seattle's defense, because the Niners up front have no rush, really young secondary, and they're really hurt at linebacker. So it's not a great defense that they have right now. It's definitely not as good as Seattle's. So what does the Cardinal offense look like against this 49er defense is anybody's guess. All right, so there you go. A little bit of Nick Rallis. We should tell you, we just told you that about Sleeper. We're brought to you by Sleeper. Big fans of Sleeper. The link's in the description. Terms and conditions do apply there. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Let's hear from Siron Neil. Unfortunately, Siron Neil is one of my favorite guys to talk to. Unfortunately, when I went up to him, it was right at the end of the media session, so I only got like a minute with him. He would have done probably 10 minutes, but they're like, Krug, you got to get out of here. They got to go to practice. So unfortunately, we got about a minute with Siron Neil, but here it is. A little bit of Siron Neil inside the linebacker inside the locker room. Niners special teams ace, corner, safety, but really more of a special teamer. We're here in the Niner locker room with Niner special teams ace, Siron Neil. And Siron, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good. You?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How do you feel? How's your body feel? You guys have been banging heads and playing ball since July. It's almost Thanksgiving. You're a veteran. How do you feel?
Still feel young.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're blessed.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. Genetics.
Yeah, seriously.
Makes my family.
How you feel the special teams? It seems like special teams coverage units are getting better every single week, huh?
I'm going really good. Proud of those guys. Now I don't want to talk about myself, but the other guys,
Yeah.
the younger guys, the guys that came along this year, they really, getting better every day. And like I told them, it means I'm really proud of them.
One guy I love watching right now is Sky Moore. There ain't no fear there. I mean,
really?
how about that play in Atlanta where he's got 5 guys trucking him in the corner?
Yeah.
This guy goes a million miles an hour, and it's like he doesn't care if he gets blown up or not. He's going.
He's aggressive. That's why, and on punt return, I block for him, and he really aggressive. He don't really like the first catch, and I just know it's gonna take more than 2 guys to bring him down. And once he get going, he's going.
Yeah. Hey man, we got to roll, but good to talk to you. Have a good game this week.
Thank you.
Siron Neil. Good guy, really good guy. Very confident, man. Very confident football player. Siron Neil's like, man, I'm good. I am really good. And what he does really well. So there you go. There's a little bit of Siron Neil. Keon White. Last week I wanted to talk to Keon White, but man, he was just surrounded by so many people at his locker, and I don't like doing the group powwow interviews. You get one question, then you can ask maybe 5 minutes later, and it's just kind of disjointed. But he was standing there today. Now he's been in the room for a while. Everybody's already talked to him. So I walked up to him and said, Keon, you got time? And he's like, absolutely. Let's do it. So here it is. We're here in the Niner locker room with one of the newest Niners, Keon White. And Keon, you got a sack last week. That had to feel good. Take us back to that play. What'd you get on that play, and how'd you get home?
Just effort for real. I don't think I did anything fancy. Went into power. Then we had a good middle push up the middle with KD, who kind of slowed him up and let me catch up to him and share half that sack for real.
It's funny. Scheme means everything in some ways. I just watched your game at Georgia Tech for a half hour the other day. You're a great scheme fit for this team, aren't you?
Yeah. Just getting into it because the last 2 years I've been in a completely different scheme.
Totally different scheme.
So just trying to retrain the technique and learn the fundamentals and try to get back into it for real.
Yeah. Somebody's like, hey, what happened in New England? And I'm like, hey, he's not a 2-gapper. And he's not an outside linebacker. You're like a 4-3 defensive end, or you could play inside or outside, and then just get up the field, attack the quarterback, kind of a player.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just trying to get in where I fit in at this point. So just trying to be as productive and good technique as possible is for the thing I'm trying to do right now.
You're a veteran. When you came out of G-Tech as a rookie, you had one knowledge as a player. Now I'm sure you're a much smarter player. Where are you better than when you first came into the league?
So definitely rushing on the inside and trying to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be where I was last year and better. I didn't do that a lot this season, so I'm trying to really get back into it and fundamentals and technique and feeling my way around the world.
That for a lot of football fans don't realize your position, that defensive line, defensive tackle, trying to rush inside is a lot about technique. Mm-hmm. It's about hand placement and coordination.
Yeah.
there's a lot to learn there. What do you think of Chris so far? I mean, you walk into he's intense, he's screaming, but he's also a real good teacher of the game of D-line play.
Yeah. I mean, that's him. He lets you kind of be yourself and then corrects that from there.
Yeah.
And so he's okay with, like, nobody's okay with mistakes, but
Sure.
so if you're gonna make a mistake, make it 100 miles an hour, and then we can fix it. So he's a big effort guy, things like that, and you can respect that.
What's his room like? Seems like you got a lot of young guys in there. He's high energy. You're walking in. What was your first impressions of the D-line room?
But no, he's a pretty genuine guy. Like I said, he allows the guys to be themselves and everything in there. So it's refreshing to see.
A lot of young guys in there. Do you feel like, man, you're one of the veterans? Like when you guys are watching film and talking game, do you feel like, man, I almost got to talk up more because I got so many young guys in the room?
Nah, still new here. So
Sure.
Just trying to find my place. Like nobody's gonna respect what you have to say if you're not doing anything for real. So I feel like I really haven't showed these guys anything or anything like that. So I have to come in there and prove it, and earn my role, and earn my way.
That's a good mindset. What does Arizona look like on film to you? You take a look at them, and what is their offense looking like?
Again, I don't really like to get into what the offenses look like because
Sure.
at the D-line level, it's more so what does our fundamentals and technique look like. And again, being new here, I can't really speak on the grand scheme of things. So just more so trying to improve upon my techniques and fundamentals going into this week.
Is there a veteran player that, when you first came into the league that maybe helped you along a little bit that you look back and say, hey, you know what, that guy actually made me a better football player?
I had good vets when I was like a rookie. So I had Lawrence Guy, who played in the league a long time, Devon Godshaw, who played in the league a long time, Dietrich Wise, who's been in the league for a while. And all these guys are in my room. And then even seeing Baltimore get paid, things like that. I've taken a little bit from everybody.
Yeah.
While also trying to maintain like who I am as an individual.
All right, Saturdays you watching your Ramblin' Wreck? You watching Haynes King do his thing these days, or
yeah, man,
or
I'm
are
kind
you?
of sick that they lost to NC State because that's like I'm from the crib. That's my hometown team, but also Georgia Tech. I'm rooting for them, so I'm conflicted on both of them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
G-Tech looks good this year, though.
They're doing good this year.
Yeah.
And proud of them and Old Dominion. So shout out to both of the teams. I still rep both of them. Still rocking both of them. And
tell us a little
what they do.
Tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What part of the country are you from?
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. And you spent all your life there?
All my life, yeah.
And then went to G-Tech. What'd you think of Atlanta?
I love Atlanta, so I live there now. So staying out there, like the diversity, the nature, everything like that.
Yeah, my daughter goes to school at Emory and really loves Atlanta. She thinks it's really a great town.
I'll be there for the rest of my life.
Really? You love it that much? What do you think? Have you spent any time on the West Coast? What do you think of the Bay so far?
This is my first time on the West Coast, and the Bay's cool. Like always, good weather and everything like that. Got a chance to kind of get out and explore yesterday. It was
cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
Where'd you get to go?
I did Chinatown, Japantown. I was kind of just riding my
in the
bike
city.
around the city. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Have you ever been to San Francisco?
Nah, first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was cool. Like, it's hella hilly. Like, it has a lot of hills and everything like that, but everything was cool.
Last one for you. Niner fans always love to know you guys. What's something that you do away from the game? Are you is there, some guys make music, some guys golf, some guys fish, some guys hunt. What are your interests outside of the game?
I like to host. Like, I have a lot of my friends over. We do like dinner parties, things like that. I'll host like group hikes. I'll host, like I said, dinner parties, outings, things like that. I just kind of like to bring people together and like have that sense of community almost.
Yeah, cool. Hey, Keon, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for spending a little time. Keon White.
Interesting guy. He likes to host parties. He likes to host people, and I thought that was kind of cool. And checking out Chinatown in downtown San Francisco, that's cool too. That's cool. I mean, we're talking about a 50, 60 miles away from the facility, and he's like, I'm going to go check it out. Very cool to catch up with Keon White. Good guy. Then I caught up. Last one here is John Weeks. John Weeks is the long snapper. He's been on the team all year, but I haven't talked to him at all. I was waiting for Christian McCaffrey, and he wasn't showing up today. So I was like, I'm just standing here. I might as well interview Weeks. He's got a locker pretty much in that corner by Christian and by Kittle and by Brock Purdy, where Dre Greenlaw used to be. He might actually be in Dre Greenlaw's old locker. But here's a little bit of John Weeks, who's been in this league for a long time, long snapper. And if you're a high school long snapper, this is probably some pretty good stuff for you, because I asked him a little bit about his craft and how he became a pro long snapper, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Here, a little dialogue with John Weeks, Niners long snapper.
All right, we're here in the Niner locker room with Niner long snapper John Weeks and veteran of the NFL. And what's it like year one in San Francisco? How's it gone for you so far?
Yeah, it's been great. The organization is top notch. It's been fantastic. Getting to work with the guys in the locker room has been awesome. Coach Boyer and Colt, special teams room is great. I'm just blessed to be here, and it's been a fantastic transition for me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
So I'm a military brat, actually. My dad was Air Force, so I was born in Long Island, New York. Moved around a bunch as a kid, but when my dad retired, we moved to Phoenix. Fourth grade, I think. So from fourth grade through high school, attended Baylor University for my college days, had a couple years off, and then got in the league in 2010.
Long snapping, it's an art form. Where did you develop your skill? It's a skill that has to be developed.
Right. Yeah.
And were you always the long snapper?
No,
going back?
I wasn't. My freshman year of high school, a coach approached me and kind of told me that he could teach me a skill that he said would get me to college if I was interested. And
wow.
I think like most of us high school kids, we were all interested in playing college ball. So I asked him what it was. He told me what long snapping was. I went home, asked my dad what long snapping was, and thankfully somehow my dad kind of had an idea, so he taught me how to do it in the backyard. And the coach's deal with me was that if I was willing to put in the work and be the freshman team long snapper, and he saw that I put in the work, that he would then teach me the skill. So taught myself my freshman year. He saw that I was willing to put the time in, and then he started to teach me from my sophomore year on.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I've got 3 boys. 2 of them played football. One's playing right now, JV football. A young long snapper who's maybe seeing this interview on YouTube going, hey, this guy's one of the best in the world at what he does.
I appreciate it.
What can I glean from him? Is there anything that you could say to like maybe a high school kid that would be like, this is what you ought to try to do if you want to get down this path to maybe college or a future as a long snapper?
Yeah, such a great question. I think some of it I laugh and look back. When I look back and laugh, I think I kind of got lucky, right? I kind of got in right when the specialty was becoming super important. Now you have all these camps with all these kids who realize how important it is and are taking it real seriously and are snapping earlier than I did, right, from 6th grade through high school. So my advice, the way I always approached it was I just had to be willing to put the work in, and that's all I really did. I just kind of put my head down. I went to each practice, each session I had, threw as many balls as I could and tried to be as good as I could on that day and just tried to keep getting better and better and better.
How about strength and conditioning? Because, you're basically an offensive lineman.
Sure.
But you're also a defensive player because you're kind of having to pursue and make tackles.
Yeah.
You got to be strong. So, you do a lot of weight training.
Yeah, one of the greatest things about our position, and I think you've seen it evolve throughout the years, especially the years I've been in the NFL. When you first got in, it was more just protection and velocity and accuracy, and that's slowly transformed into all those things still being important, but now they want to see guys getting out covers, being effective in coverage, making tackles, right? For me, it was always to train like a linebacker, to look at myself as a linebacker who had a special skill set. So that's how, when I played and approached football, that's how I always started to train. But I think for me, one of the greatest things I can tell young kids is to get involved with as many sports as possible.
Be a multi-sporter.
Yeah, I think that, I was fortunate enough to where my parents put me in everything. So I played baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer. I did all of it when I was growing up. And I think each one of those sports helped me become a better long snapper at the end of the day. So I would say, as much as we like to specialize kids these days, I would say to get involved as much as possible to help the position.
Let's talk about the different snaps, right? There's different snaps. There's the
Yeah.
snaps for the punter, right? Then there's the snaps for field goal that you're going with your holder.
Yeah.
You got to have some communication with your kicker, your holder. Eddie's got his preferences, right? Everybody's got their preferences. So a lot of that stuff is verbal dialogue. It's like, what do you guys do during the week? Offensive guys are watching defense. Defensive guys are watching offense. Special teams guys are watching their special teams unit in a meeting room.
Yeah. It's the same. You got to understand the group that you're playing each week that you come up and play against. Just like this week, we understand that we got a really good Cardinal team that can do a lot of good things. They have a really good explosive returner. Their scheme's really good. They're coached really well. So, as a specialist unit, not just myself, Eddie, and Thomas, but as a whole group, we sit there and we watch and, we try to understand what we're getting ready to face every week. Now, when it comes to the individual part of it, like you said, the punts and the field goals, Punting is just more communication. I like to communicate with my guys, so I talk to Thomas about, where he prefers to catch the ball. Does he like to catch the ball with his palms up, palms down, that kind of stuff, just to kind of find out location-wise. And then when it comes to the shorts, it's gotten more and more important to make sure the laces are as straight as possible to help the kicker so he's not seeing too much movement. And that just becomes down to repetition and communication. Like you said, it's me talking to Thomas about understanding my ball and knowing where the laces usually are at a certain distance, telling him how I can help him get that, him catching it in the same spot as much as he can, and trying to eliminate as much variables for Eddie as we possibly can do it. So it's just all communication, repetition, just working together.
We're now in November.
Okay.
San Francisco or Santa Clara. Weather here is non-factor. Do you ever wear gloves? Do
No.
any long snappers ever? Do you have to have that feel? When the conditions get bad, are there anything that you want to see or do with the ball so that you can, do your job better?
Oh, no,
in the
for me,
cold
I
weather?
think the most important thing when it comes to weather games is just to remind yourself to throw the same ball. I think sometimes we kind of get that, the ball's a little wet, I have to grip it harder, or it's a little slick, I got to hold on just a little bit longer, and I think that's when the mistakes happen. I never grew up using gloves, so I don't. I know plenty of guys who do use gloves. I think that's more of a preference thing. I don't have an opinion on it either way. I think whatever helps you get your job done, go ahead and knock it out. So, but when it comes to weather, I just keep the same mindset as I have with every other snap.
You're a veteran. You've been on a number of teams in a number of different years in the league. What's the culture of this team like compared to what you've seen in your career?
I mean, the whole organization itself is just a fantastic culture. It's an amazing locker room. It's a bunch of guys that really have each other's backs, are very encouraging and supportive. And we're all there for each other, even through the highs and the lows of the season. And that's what the NFL is. You're going to have your highs, you're going to have your lows. It's about the locker room staying together, and this locker room's doing a great job of it.
Yeah, and that can be hard. I mean, a lot of pressure to win. Things don't go well. There's a lot of type A personalities. Guys can snap at each other. It happens. But yeah, you're right. You either grow together, you grow apart. The best teams stay together as the season goes on. Boyer, obviously you came here largely because of Boyer. Tell me a little bit about Boyer. What makes him? He seems just like the kind of guy you just put in a dip, have a beer, watch the game, and just just talk
described him
ball.
to a T.
He's a good old guy who loves ball.
Yeah, a great football coach, a great special teams mind. The guys have bought into his system and how he wants things done, and I think you can tell every week guys are getting way more comfortable, and we're improving every week, and that's kind of all he asks for us. A coach that gets on you when he needs to get on you, but is very encouraging to the other guys and gives you a lot of confidence to go out there and play free and play hard for him. So I think he's adjusted well here. So obviously my first year, I've enjoyed every second I've got to play with him. One of the reasons I did decide to come here, and I'm really having a good time.
Family-wise, what do you have family-wise? Are you
Yeah, I'm married. My wife Amanda is the rock of the family. She's a beautiful attorney. She's my rock. I don't know what else to say. I don't think I've played football this long unless she was willing to sacrifice everything that she sacrifices. And then we have two beautiful little girls, Parker and Harper, ages 8 and 5, that are absolutely love being out here. I think enjoying the weather a ton. Obviously in Houston it was a little hot, but we're having a great time out here. We're really happy.
Yeah, man, awesome to talk to you. Cardinals, anything that stands out about them? They're rolling in. They've got injuries and the challenges of the season. Anything that stands out to you about them as especially second time around? You've never seen them before.
Yeah. I mean, for me, you're going to get the special team aspect of it. And like I said earlier, a very good unit that plays very hard on all phases, kickoff, return. They're specialists. They're solid. Their returners explosive. We have to go in there and we have to play aggressive and we have to play fast. And I think the guys are up for the challenge and we're excited for it.
Last one for you. Niner fans always love to know you guys and find out about you guys. What's your interest outside of the game? Some guys, you got to do a lot of lifting and training and dieting, and you got a family, as you said.
No.
But some guys fish, some guys hunt, some guys. Jordan Elliott told me he raps, he makes his own music.
I love that.
What are your interests outside of the game?
Yeah, I'm a family guy. When I'm outside, I try to spend as much time with the girls as possible because the game asks so much of us, so we're away a lot. But if I'm not with the girls or the missus tells me to get away for a little bit, I'll go golf with the guys a little bit. I like to golf. The golf game has taken a hit after the babies, though. Wasn't bad there for a little bit, but when the girls came,
Yeah, it's hard to justify.
Yeah, had to,
Honey, I'll see you in 6
had
hours.
to sit back. But the good news is for me is my oldest is getting super interested in it, so I'll probably take her to the course a few times.
Very cool. Great talking to you. How cool will it be, since you have been able to play, that your children are getting to watch you play, as opposed to many of the guys in here will probably never get that experience?
Yeah, I think that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the coolest and greatest part of it, is that my kids get to watch me play a game for a living, but not only that, but they get to watch me live out my dream. And I think I wanted them to share that journey with me as much as I could. So it's been awesome.
It's a great example, man. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.
All right, there you go. A little bit of John Weeks, and I really enjoyed that conversation. Very interesting guy, John Weeks, the Niners veteran long snapper, has been around the league, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. So thanks to John Weeks, thanks to Keon White, thanks to Siron Neil, and, of course, thanks to Kyle Shanahan, thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show. We should tell you that we are big fans of Habbas Law. Big fans of Habbas Law. 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Thanks to Omar and Tarek Habbas for being great sponsors of the Krug Show. Seriously, sometimes the difference between success and failure in life is having the right lawyer. And today's show, sponsored by Habbas Law. For more than 40 years, Omar Habbas and his son Tarek have been standing up for people right here in Northern California. They're fierce, relentless PI attorneys. They do not back down until justice is done. So a lot of times when you're injured, insurance companies try to dodge. These guys don't let them do it because they know the playbook. And they basically just they make them pay. It's just that simple. They've been battling insurance companies for decades and beating them for decades. They're rooted right here in Northern California. They're locked up and with media official partners with the Giants, the Earthquakes, the Sharks, the San Jose State Spartans, Santa Clara University. They're rooted right here in the community. So if you need someone in your corner, call the law firm insurance companies. Hope you never call, and that's Habbas Law. They will fight to make it right. Visit them on the web at habbaslaw.com, HABBAS law.com, 1-800-INJURED. Once again, Habbas Law, they will fight to make it right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle, thanks to Sleeper, and thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.